Okay. How did you landed to a topic which we haven't heard? Like, for example, I have heard, like, people in the um yoga, like people in the park, like, uncles, like they go and laugh, ha ha ha. But what is exactly it, and what is laughter expert? What is it? Like, can you explain it?
Yeah, of course. So I started questioning myself, first. Okay, how much am I laughing? Am I really joyful? Am I really being happy? Of course, you can't be happy 24 hours. But in a day, how much is it? Are you pushing yourself to smile? Deepa, you'll be surprised. The client asked me, okay, Pranalli, you're going to be executing the event. Okay, but I need some activity which will enhance the entire flow. And I was just sitting randomly, and because I always had that thought on my mind of laughter, I didn't know what is laughter. I just know that people need to laugh, but I didn't know how to make them laugh and how to go about the journey. So I told him, I said, you know what? Why don't you just do something laughter?
Yeah.
So he's telling me, okay, Pranali, now that this thought has come from you, how would you do the laughter? And I was like, hello, like I really don't know how to do that. So he's like, no, I have that confidence, you'll do it. So I said, okay, now that it's a big responsibility, and the audience which I am supposed to address were 350 people, having no background.
How does it work? Like, what exactly happened in this laughter yoga?
So when I go into a session, I always look into the energy. And the energy tells me, okay, Pranali, this is what you need to now look into it. So I've always pre-planned a session, but I've never delivered a pre-planned session. Like I've had clients who have come to me and said, you know what, because they are into various professions. Professions don't allow them to laugh as much. A person who is not into anything, at least he tends to laugh or she tends to laugh. But when you're in a profession, you have a certain identity, right? You have a certain mask which you're wearing. Now in that mask, if I come and tell you, okay, laugh, you'll be like, how do I laugh? It's a struggle.
Yeah.
But I've had clients who have been into that position, I'm talking about senior level, management people, where they have been to that level and they have said, you know what, Pranalli, thank you so much for making us laugh. Because it's been a really, really long time where we've not laughed, But that 45 minutes, that an hour laughter has released so much of stress that we are feeling lighter, we're feeling energetic, we're feeling positive.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Harmony Hour with Deepa. And before starting today's episode, I just want to say that, it's been a journey till now. And I want to take a pause and say thank you so much. So I'll just tell you that how was it? Like, it's been ups and down. And, nobody taught us that it'll be a solo journey, because social media is such a solo place. We have a lot of people who will comment, likes, but it doesn't depend on that. And for me, I'll just say that it was a lonely journey, but I'm glad I have few friends who has always been there and constantly keep clapping for me. And I just want to say to thank you to all of those people who are just there and they motivate me, because nobody taught me that, when you fall, then how to get up. But I'm just learning this in this process. And so I want to say that thank you so much. And I'll constantly work on myself and bring some interesting topics. And so today we'll just start. So today what we have in this podcast, we have Pranalli, who is a laughter yoga expert and a Reiki master. And she's also a mindful meditator. And today we'll be jumping into the topic like laughter. So if you have forgotten to laugh, so this episode is for you, so that we can laugh together to make a lighter and brighter society. So let's welcome Pranalli. Hi Pranalli, how are you?
Hi Deepa, thank you so much for inviting me.
I'm glad you're here. So before starting to the laughter expert part, what you are, so can we start like what is the backstory of Pranalli? How did you landed to a topic which we haven't heard? Like for example, I have heard, like, people in the um, like people in the park, like, uncles, like, they go and laugh, ha ha ha. But what is exactly it, and what is laughter expert? What is it? Like, can you explain it?
Yeah, of course. So, to go backtrack, I
Mm-hmm.
come from a hardcore media industry.
Okay.
So, almost in India worked for 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I've grown up in a media family. So, back in India, so, where you've seen your father always in the industry, so you always want to, and as daughters you always look up to your father,
Yeah.
right? That's like the first benchmark. Every girl keeps it. So I started my journey in the media industry, and then when I came to Dubai, I'm talking about 2014.
Mm-hmm.
When you came here, coming from a media experience background, let's be honest that even though when you're changing countries, right,
Mm-hmm.
what you do back there, it does help, but doesn't help you get immediate job.
Yeah.
So for me, it was a bit of a challenge. I would say not a bit. It was a journey for me to go through this entire process of coming from a media background in India, coming to Dubai, wherein the media industry, as compared to India, it's still growing, I would say, and learning. So, getting that job here when I started here again in the media industry, that's where I was introduced to, I would say, Sadhguru. That's where my journey of wellness, or
Yeah.
rather, I would say, taking care of myself started. So, when Deepa, when you start your journey and when you come across things which are helping you, you always look back, sit, and think, okay, what is it, or what is it that which is making a difference
Yeah.
while you are actually working. So, my work, my profession, and my wellness journey started together, back then. And slowly, gradually, as in when the time, when you start growing spiritually, uh, professionally, you figure out, okay, what is it that you're doing? Is it making sense? You, like, especially after COVID, and during COVID, I think that was a time which I had to sit down and look into it. Okay, I've been working all my life, right, into a profession which I love it. I'm passionate about it. But is it something which I would want to further expand? Or is it that I would like to sit back, pause, re-look into it, and see what or where I want to say grow. And that's where actually wellness was something which has always been there. When you are practicing every day, you know that it has done a huge impact on you. How about you take that as your journey, uh, as something which you can work on further. And that's where actually I got introduced to Reiki.
Okay.
Okay, so while following the guru, at the same time where you got experience and introduction to Reiki, so that was my initial bit of I'm a Reiki master. I was into also healing animals,
Oh,
so
wow. Okay.
dog Reiki I used to do, but then I think every time whenever I would do things, I would always again sit back and look into it that, okay, is it something which I really want to further take it forward? Because, when you're into the wellness industry and when you are also looking into where you want to help people, so you can't just go and say, what, hey, I'm a Reiki master, come, I'll help you. No, it doesn't. So obviously there are journeys of your own self,
Yeah.
right? Where I had to literally introspect and re-look into it that, okay, I think I need to pause. And that's why my Reiki journey paused,
Okay.
Of course, it helped me who I am today. But, when it comes to healing, I had to pause it up. And that's where my introduction to laughter happened, wherein I was, so while in Dubai, when I was here, after my media industry, I was moved into the education side of it. When I was into the education side, when I was actually talking to universities, talking to students, kids of the age group of 4 years, 5 years, I saw that laughter was something missing. And I was like, okay, laughter is amazing. People don't know how to laugh. People don't know how to smile. People know how to cry, express their emotions, but they cannot express the joy.
Yeah.
They cannot express happiness. So that's where I realized, okay, this is something is been missing, and let's look into it more in detail. I started questioning myself, first.
Yeah.
Okay, how much am I laughing? Am I really joyful? Am I really being happy? Of course, you can't be happy 24 hours, but in a day, how much is it? Are you pushing yourself to smile? That was my first question to myself. And while I was having certain, your daily routine where you're meeting people, having communication. So I also run a business which is into event management. Okay, so my company's name is Pranalli Connect. So where we try and help connect, right? So the motive is to connect people, opportunities. So event is a big medium which we focus on. And when I say events, is into wellness, education. So there are various aspects where we focus on. So I said, how about we go and explore events further? So while I was exploring events, when I was sitting with the client, Deepa, you'll be surprised. The client asked me, okay, Pranali, you're going to be executing the event. Okay, but I need some activity which will enhance the entire flow. And I was just sitting randomly, and because I always had that thought on my mind of laughter, I didn't know what is laughter. I just know that people need to laugh, but I didn't know how to make them laugh and how to go about the journey. So I told him, I said, you know what? Why don't you just do something laughter?
Yeah.
So he's telling me, okay, Pranali, now that this thought has come from you, how would you do the laughter? And I was like, hello, like I really don't know how to do that. So
Yeah.
he's like, no, I have that confidence, you will do it. So I said, okay, now that it's a big responsibility, and the audience which I am supposed to address were 350 people.
Oh.
Having no background, I just know, okay, laughter, hey. But then how do you do that?
Yeah.
So I went back, I did a little bit of, YouTube helps and to understand because
Yeah.
you are not an expert that time. And that's where my actual journey happened. So when I went there, I said, okay, basic laughter. I had gone to the YouTube. I said, okay, chalo. I went on the stage. I did the laughter. Okay. And it was a hit. And I was like, okay, I was able to create, because laughter, no, it's not that, well, I will throw jokes or I will say or talk about a humor, but it is about pushing people to laugh.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that has to come only when you can push yourself to laugh. Right? And I realized, okay, I think it's there in me. And I think it's God gifted. So how about I go back and actually study about it? So that was my introduction to laughter. Okay. It's actually called laughter yoga. Okay, Hasya yoga.
Yeah.
Okay, jahan pe we actually make people laugh.
Yeah.
Right? And I went back, I did studies, I did a proper certified course. Okay, it's a proper course. And trust me, today I'm super happy and I'm passionate of making people laugh, because people don't know how to laugh, as I mentioned in earlier as well. And it takes a huge amount to see that smile, and you feel so happy and you feel so satisfied that, whatever you're doing today, you're able to help the other person laugh,
Yeah.
bring that smile, bring that happiness, bring that joy. And yeah, I mean, that's where my journey of laughter yoga started, back then. And today I'm so happy that I'm able to uh, spread joy, spread laughter for more than, I think, 10,000 plus people.
Wow.
So yeah, that's where I am. And that's why I call myself an expert, because you can't just go out in the crowd and laugh.
Yeah.
No. It takes a lot of courage, takes a lot of experience. So yeah, so that's where I am.
Okay. Like talking about that, I can see the sparkle in your eyes while you were like, detailing about your journey and everything. So, how does it work? Like, what exactly happened in this laughter yoga? Like, when you go, so how do you start? Like, so basically, I've seen, like, in these day to day life, we have so much of anxiety, depression. Like, people are all talking about mostly negative things because we have been so much exposed to these words. Because when we go back in time, we didn't had these words, right? Nobody was talking like, I never heard from my parents that they have anxiety or depression, or maybe I wasn't that aware of. But these days, like small kids are also talking about these things, like I feel depressed, I'm bored, like and I feel that people don't laugh because laughter is something out of their syllabus. They don't know how to do it, right? So I've seen that you go to, like corporates, and you make them laugh. So how does that work? And have you seen any changes in the people who do it after? And because you have done it constantly for yourself, so what are the changes?
Okay, so whenever I go to any event or any session where I need to cater,
Yeah.
or deliver a session, first and foremost, when I go into a crowd, okay, it doesn't matter whether it's 5 people or 50 or 100 plus, doesn't matter. What matters is you give a glance to the people. You see, because looking at their faces, you tend to understand what's the energy like. And I'm an energy driven person. I always go what the energy of the room tells me. So when I go into a session, I always look into the energy. And the energy tells me, okay, Pranali, this is what you need to now look into it. So I've always pre-planned a session, but I've never delivered a pre-planned session.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
even though I have things on my mind, okay, A, B, C, D, but when I go in the room or when I go in front of the audience, it changes.
It comes naturally.
It comes naturally.
Yeah.
Right? And also what happens is you see that people are enjoying it. You see the laugh. And trust me, you will be surprised the way people laugh.
No, I've seen it.
You have yourself experienced
Yes.
it, right?
Yeah.
So it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. It takes you out of all your stress, anxious, however you are being anxious, anxiety, if any anxiety is kicking into your body or has been there for a while, or you've been sad, or you've come out with some thought in your mind which is bothering you, and there you go. Now you've have to laugh.
Yeah.
Right? It's very challenging because it's not easy. Like if I tell you, okay, Deepa, laugh, you'll be like, okay, how do I laugh?
Yeah.
First question comes is, how will I laugh?
Yeah.
And if I tell you, okay, you know what, Deepa, open your mouth and laugh, you'll be like, how? How much to open?
Yeah.
Like how wide to go? Or what is it that I need to push myself?
Yeah.
Right? Your body, because I'm telling you to laugh, but your body doesn't know how to laugh. Okay, you're listening, okay, that I'm supposed to laugh. You're trying to consciously understand, but subconsciously don't know how to laugh. So that becomes a challenge. So with practice, I have seen that you tend to laugh more, and your body understands laughter in a much better way as compared to asked you for the first time, okay, laugh. Okay? And second thing, what happens is the benefits of laughter is huge.
Yeah.
Right? And laughter is not just laughter, but it's called laughter yoga. The reason why it's called laughter yoga is because laughter, everybody knows it's laugh. It's a laughter. Okay? Yoga is reason why, because it's a breathing technique wherein you combine laughter with some breathing technology,
Okay.
which is nothing but you're inhaling and exhaling.
Yeah.
But you're so much dynamically driven because laughter yoga is a dynamic meditation. It's not a still, wherein I'm asking you, okay, now sit, focus. No. I'm asking you, don't even sit, stand or run, but laugh.
Yeah.
So it's like, like you go for a dancing, like a lot of people love to, like you're going clubbing, for example.
Yeah.
Right? What you do? You listen to the music and you start moving,
Dancing,
right? There, all of a sudden, you've come to a club,
Yeah.
but the music makes you groove,
Yeah.
right? Over here, there is no music. It's Pranalli who makes you tell you, okay, laugh now. So you have to laugh.
Yeah.
But But when you're pushing yourself to laugh, you see that after the session, you're feeling more, I would say, energetic,
Lighter.
lighter.
Yeah.
Okay. You'll be also surprised that your jawline,
Yeah.
okay, you'll see a huge difference.
Yeah, it starts
Okay.
hurting.
It starts hurting, but you see that you've done a lot of exercise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And the other thing is, laughter is so beautifully curated. I always
Yeah.
say that if you laugh for 15 minutes,
Yeah.
okay, your body gets warmed up
Yeah.
in such a way that it makes you feel that you've actually worked out for 30 minutes of cardio exercise.
Yeah.
So imagine, I tell you, Deepa, go for a walk or do some cardio, which will help you burn your calories.
Or
Vice
just
versa, I tell you, okay, Deepa, sit in that place or walk around
And
and
just-
laugh.
But can we have some Pranalli's laugh? Like, how you did in the, which we had, the satsang, the recent one.
Yeah.
Like, because the house was so full of energy and liveliness. Like, you just did ha ha ha. And the full room was packed because, laughing, I feel somewhere we have just forgotten. Like, so basically, I see in our near and society that you don't know how to express your joy. We know how to express our anxiety. We know like how to be sad, cry out everything. But when it comes to happiness, we just smile. Okay, that's it. But when you did that, ha ha ha, and the room was full of laughter, it was so amazing. And when we stopped, I was literally at like this, like my stomach was paining, my jawline was hurting. It was so full, but I was so happy and feeling so lighter that, after a while, I laughed so much.
No, Deepa, I'll tell you something. What you're saying is this is what the experience has been for many. For many.
Yeah.
Like I've had clients who have come to me and said, you know what, because they are into various professions. Professions don't allow them to laugh
Yeah.
as much. A person who's not into anything, at least he tends to laugh or she tends to laugh. But when you're in a profession, you have a certain identity, right? You have a certain mask which you're wearing. Now, in that mask, if I come and tell you, okay, laugh, you'll be like, how do I laugh? It's a struggle.
Yeah.
But I've had clients who have been into that position, I'm talking about senior level, management people, where they have been to that level and they have said, you know what, Pranalli, thank you so much for making us laugh. Because it's been really, really long time where we've not laughed, But that 45 minutes, that an hour laughter has released so much of stress that we are feeling lighter, we're feeling energetic, we're feeling positive.
Yeah.
So after the session, when they've gone back to their work, where they have seen what they're delivering is so much productive, it's 10 times more. So I've had clients who have come who have also been, depressed for a while, but they don't know how to, they are trying their best. Obviously, they're going through certain therapies, but laughter therapy has been a change,
Yeah.
a game changer in their life. I mean, I have clients who have come with one person, and now I'm like doing it for the entire family.
Wow.
And the good part is, I see the happiness.
Yeah.
I see a shift. I see a change. And that makes me further go all out, confidently, that no, this is a miracle, okay, which God has given me to deliver.
Yeah.
Okay. So go ahead and do it. Don't think how much, what, no. You keep doing, don't think what's going to come back, And to be honest, Deepa, my goal or my vision is to help people.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we've forgotten that. We've got that whole practice of, okay, acha, tol mol ki bol. Okay. If I get, then only I'll deliver.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
But why? And as the Guru also says, you do your good deed. Don't think.
Yeah.
Don't think ki what is going to make you feel happy or what is it that will make you feel good. No. Firstly, you need to be happy.
Yeah.
And today, the biggest challenge is that to be happy.
Yeah.
Right? Love yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We expect others to love
Right.
or something commodity will help us feel good.
Yeah.
You know, but if you look into it, it's nothing but it's more psychological.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
I think we look for validation from people outside.
24/7.
We don't think because we have been raised in a society that when somebody loves you, then only you are good, right? The moment somebody doesn't like you, starts questioning ourselves, am I not good enough? Is something wrong with me? Is there something like I need to change? Or is there like now what we do, we like balance ourselves with commodity. Like, if I'm sad, I'll go to shopping. If
Yeah.
I don't have this one, then I don't belong to that society. Like something or the other way we start validation we need from people, I guess. But the moment you start validating yourself, like, people say love yourself, but that's a very difficult thing to do.
True.
It's so hard to love yourself when, like, you don't have people near and you just have to sit quietly, because loving yourself means being at peace with yourself, right?
True.
Like laughing in the silence, just
Like,
embracing your flaws.
like if you recall that day, I asked you, one was louder,
Yeah.
one was a silent laughter.
Yeah.
Right?
Uh-huh.
What is silent laughter? A, you're not showing the world that you're laughing. You're not showing the world that you're happy.
Yeah.
Okay? It's a silent laughter for yourself.
Right.
You know? And at times, right, whenever we, or say if you're going into a meeting or into a situation where we need to address, but we are not ready for it. You know, there are a lot of challenges we face on a daily life at times. So silent laughter changes you. Or forget everything. Just stand in front of the mirror,
I laugh.
okay, and laugh.
Yeah. Right.
That's the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
You know, if I tell you, okay, laugh like this, you'll be okay, still be able to. But looking into the mirror, you know, where you're looking into yourself, it's a self-reflection.
Yeah.
And that self-reflection, whatever state of mind you are, it hits you hard. And on top of it, now that you have to laugh on yourself is the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
It's the biggest challenge. But if you're able to do that, trust me, outer appearances or outer environment will not make any hoo-ha for you.
I agree.
It will be like, you know what, bring it on.
Yeah.
Your entire body language changes,
Yeah.
right? The way you look at things changes.
Yeah.
Of course, see, 24/7 you can't be happy. 24/7 you can't be laughing. Let's be honest. Okay? But in a day, if you're able to laugh for even 5 minutes and 10 minutes, 10 minutes is a lot for people, but even for, say, 2 minutes,
Yeah.
remove that time.
Yeah.
Okay, you will see a difference on a daily life.
Yeah.
You will see that each day you're getting better,
Yeah.
better. And also what happens is, right, Deepa, what we do on a normal practices, which is yoga, okay, we're inhaling and exhaling. We're inhaling through our nostrils and exhaling either through our nostrils or through our mouth.
Yeah.
But in laughter, what we're doing is we're inhaling and we're exhaling through our mouth. Okay, so our lungs are getting more widened up.
Yeah.
Okay, what in like science also says, and it's been proven that in a normal scenario, which you would exhale 500 ml of air, which is your carbon dioxide, in laughter you're actually exhaling 1500 ml.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, there's a huge difference.
Yeah.
People who have been going through depression,
Yeah.
you know, or let's go to a factor which is called hormonal imbalance. Okay, when you're laughing, right, you are actually releasing the happy hormones. So your hormones which are imbalanced are coming into balance. Of course, you know, there are nutritionists and everything. Of course, it goes all hand in hand.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is that laughter also does wonders
Yeah.
in this way. So it's not just about laughing, but it takes care of your overall body in a way.
Wow, Pranalli, on that, I just want to say that why nobody is talking about these things? Like, why nobody is talking about, how important laughter is in like one's life, and how often do you laugh? I just want to ask this question because do you really laugh? Can you really stand in front of the mirror and just laugh for 2 minutes? Just making peace with yourself, because I totally understand love yourself, but do you really love yourself? That's the question. And if you can't even laugh for 2 minutes, then what's the point of living this life, right? People say, I have made peace with myself, but did you really make a peace with yourself? Are you able to stand in front of the mirror and just laugh, or laugh with your friends or your circle? Like, are you really happy enjoying this life? Because I follow Sadhguru very closely and I just love what the facts he talks about. Because earlier I was talking to you and I was just saying that nobody talks about, when you are depressed, when you are sad, when you are like high on emotion, what to do. Like, you don't need any validation, you don't need people, you just need to understand those emotions, right?
Correct, correct.
And you don't always have to put yourself at the hero level. Like, we say that we are the hero of our picture, but no, it's just like, you work on your breathe and you'll understand life more
Correct,
nicely, right?
correct, correct.
So there is so many things, like, people haven't taught. Like, for me, I was speaking with Anamika, and she was saying that, why didn't people, like my parents, taught about finance? Because this is one of the major thing we should learn, right? So why didn't, like, anybody talk about laughter? Because I feel in the society it's missing totally, and you are doing such an amazing job. Because I was talking with my husband and really said that, you should also introduce in your corporate, because they are also having a stressful life. Like, I know one person and she makes like people. And the certain question was, how can she make somebody laugh? Like, it's that, like we saw in the park, like, ha ha ha.
Correct.
Like, you just go
Correct.
and do ha ha ha.
Correct.
But what's the point of that?
Correct.
Like, I just feel after this podcast, many people like will say, how to laugh? Are you
Okay.
crazy?
Yeah.
Why will I stand in front of the mirror and laugh? But if you can't do that, you can't make peace with yourself. You don't love yourself enough, or are you not happy? There are so many queries, but we leave to the audience. And moving on to Reiki master, you said you do for the animal. I just, out of curiosity, how does that work? How do you do that?
I used to do that. I don't do it anymore
Yeah.
because I had a certain experience, which I don't want to talk about it, but it was very close to me, which made me feel that, okay, Pranali, uh, just hold on to it. Let's not go more detail into
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Because certain aspects, what you do, okay, are also karmic.
Yeah.
Okay, certain situations come when the job is done, they move on.
Yeah.
So I would say that probably that was my phase, that was my time where I had to do and I had to delivered and moved on.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it was like that for me. And it's very sensitive, okay, very sensitive. So when you're dealing with pets, right,
Yeah.
I think humans, one, pets, another side of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm a pet lover. I have a pet at home.
Yeah.
So, when I was doing into animal Reiki and when I was doing into healing, I realized that it was affecting me internally.
Okay.
I would feel sad.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. I couldn't. So there was one incident wherein it hit me so hard that I was crying for almost 5 days. 5 days continuously because I couldn't take it. So that's where I realized, okay, it's not your cup of tea.
Yeah.
And let's be honest to yourself. It's good if you're being honest.
Yeah.
And you're able to accept it. Okay.
True.
And you're not moving ahead with any further. So that's how it was.
Like, just out of curiosity again, like, how do, like, we as a human, we have, freedom of speech, we can express ourselves, but that's not the same case with animal. How do they express? And like, how do you, like, know that they need certain, like, help or Reiki?
So, Deepa, when it comes to animals, they talk, they communicate.
Okay.
Okay, you'll be surprised. Like, of course, you can't hear them. See, they are silent creatures. Okay, they only bark, or I'm talking about specifically dogs.
Yeah.
Okay, because I've been into that with the dogs healing, not with the cats. So they talk, they express. Okay, and you'll be surprised the way they communicate. When I initially, so my experience started with the pet was with my own dog. He's 9 years now, okay? And that's where I got into the animal Reiki because of him. Because he fell sick so much and so badly that I was pushed to go into animal Reiki.
Okay.
Okay, I have been a healer, a Reiki healer for humans. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
But when it comes to animals, because he fell sick and I wanted to help him, I went all out.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? You can't be a doctor, but
Yeah.
you can be an animal Reiki
Yeah.
healer if you learn and understand the Reiki in a way which will you can go and help the animals. Okay, it's a process.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where my introduction to animal Reiki happened because of my own pet. Okay, and literally, I pulled him out from a deathbed. So for me, it was like, and today, okay, and he's with me. I just love him. Like, for me, if I have to ever do anything where Reiki is concerned, where animals are concerned, I will not go out.
Yeah.
I'll be only at home. And I do it
Yeah.
for him.
Okay.
So that's how it
Yeah.
is. But they are a good communicator.
Yeah.
Okay. They're a good communicator. They tell you things.
Yeah.
Okay. And of course, they understand emotions way beyond humans.
Yeah. Because they have the seventh sense.
They
and
have
all,
it. Okay. They understand you. And they are your best friend.
Yeah. That's
So all the dog lovers know what I'm talking.
for sure. One I have in my house as well.
There you go.
So I'll say that for those people who doesn't understand what is Reiki and how does it work, can you explain it in simpler terms so that they can understand what exactly it is?
Reiki is all about energies. Okay, it's like you're healing through energies. So I would not further get detailing into, because see, what happens is every master explains Reiki in a different way. You know, so for me, to put it in a very simple word to the audience who are going to be hearing us, it's nothing but it's the energy healing.
Okay.
Okay, that means you're playing with energies. Okay, and certain symbols.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay. So, coming back to laughter yoga, so like you have done so many events now. So, have you changed any change in the people, like after, like before and after? And do you like regularly do it? Like, how does it work? Like, if I say for the audience who are watching us, so they want to practice it. So, what is the right way? And what are the changes they can expect it? Like, for again, I said that if you love yourself, stand in front of the mirror, laugh for 2 minutes and all that, but how does it will help them, and what will be the changes they'll be expecting or they'll see in themselves?
Okay, so firstly, when you're starting laughter, okay, I know I mentioned about that. Okay, you stand in front of the mirror and you laugh, but there's a process.
Yeah.
Okay, laughter yoga, it's a technique. So it's a technique. It has to be done in front of a expert.
Okay.
And along with an expert. Okay, because an expert can tell you, okay, where to start, where to pause,
Yeah.
and where to stop.
Yeah.
Okay, because what happens is when you're into laughter, laughter is also one of the emotions. Okay, it tends to flow out. It tends to flow out. People sometimes don't know how to handle it then.
Okay.
Okay, so when you're under someone, under guidance at the initial, it's always better.
Yeah.
It helps you, because then, for example, if you come to me and taking sessions, I will tell you where to start. I'll also give you those exercises which will not make you burst out.
Yeah.
Right? Like, for example, if you are an adult, okay, a teenager. Today, the adult age is not 21.
Yeah.
Okay, I would say 18.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're an 18 plus adult, right? Again, now in that also, 18 to 25, you're like in those teens, or in a different
The fun phase.
the fun phase, right?
Yeah.
So for fun people, if I tell them to do an exercise which is boring, probably they'll be not be able to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you're under the guidance, if I know that this is an age group, okay, I know exactly whom I'm targeting, whom I'm focused, what kind of exercise you need to do in order to get that flowing,
Yeah.
the laughter flowing, right? Simultaneously, senior citizen.
Yeah.
Now, I can't give them because, see, what happens is every age group nowadays have some or the other problems. Okay? People who don't have problems are good enough. You can throw them with any exercise.
Yeah.
They will pick it up, they will enjoy it.
Right.
But if you are a senior citizen and if you have certain health issues, I will focus on those exercises which they will be able to deliver.
Yeah.
Okay. Again, with an age group which is kids. Like I do laughter sessions with children as well. Okay. Age group starting from 10 years onwards. Okay. Now if I tell them to, if I give them exercise which I'm making these people do, they will not be able to do.
True. Yeah.
So it's always better that you come to an expert who can guide you. Okay. And then you go home and practice.
Okay.
Because then it will make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Rather than, if you're feeling anxious and if you want to change your mood instantly, yes, do this exercise. Stand wherever you are and just laugh. Look at the sky and laugh. Look at the mirror and laugh.
Yeah.
But if you want to get into a proper, it's like, what? You're going for a yoga session.
Yeah.
Why you're going to yoga session?
Right.
Once the yoga session, once the teacher tells you, okay, these are the exercise, you can go home and do it, right?
Yeah.
Why do you need it? But why do you come to a class? So that you know that whatever you're doing is right
Yeah.
and it's helping you internally,
Right.
right? So similarly with laughter yoga is also the same. You practice in front of an expert so that you know exactly where, because sometimes you're laughing so much, your heart is not able to take it.
Yeah.
Right? You have to pause.
Right.
You'll start sweating. Sometimes people are not able to take that.
Yeah.
So there are certain techniques which only I can guide you when you are in front of me.
Yeah.
If you're at home practicing, I don't know what is happening. And then you will say, you know what? You told me to do this exercise at home, but this is what happened. No. I did tell you to do it in front of me.
Yeah.
So it's a thin line, okay, but it's also done beautifully if practiced on a daily note,
Yeah.
front of an expert.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. So we are not supposed to do it by
Yeah,
ourselves.
because see, as I said, right, you go home in front of the mirror, you laugh for 1 or 2 minutes is different.
Yeah.
But laughter yoga, it's a proper session.
So if you want to experience
If you want to
something,
experience that,
then you have to
then
do
you
it
have
with
to
the
come.
expert. Yeah.
You have to do it with an
Okay,
expert.
Got it.
Right?
Yeah.
When I go and deliver sessions at the corporates, that's more of a team building exercise. It's more fun.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like you're enhancing the productivity because you're instantly changing the emotions, the mood, what you're feeling. There are corporates who have signed up with me and who are doing it on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And they've seen a huge shift.
Yeah.
Women specifically. I mean, it's not that I don't love men, okay? But women, right? We all go through so much of up and down,
Yeah.
okay? And as a woman, we are having different hats,
Yeah.
right? So if you're able to even incorporate one person laughter, you'll see you're flying high.
So talking about women, as you mentioned, in the society, people say that men has a lot of pressure. Recently, I was listening to a reel by Raj Shamani that he was mentioning nobody talks about men's depression, the kind of the kind of pressure they handle, everything suddenly they becomes the man of the house, then they have to take care of the children, then wife, then the parents are getting older, and stress from office, and I totally agree that we should respect that also, and I have a huge respect for everything they do for us, and like, so what do you think? Like you mentioned that women go through, for sure we go through a lot of, like suddenly we get married, then the next moment we realize that we have become so many relations, like
Correct.
people are talking
Correct.
like you are now a new mommy, and then sister-in-law, this, that, and everything. And then the moment you realize, you think that there is a baby, and now you are a mother, and all you have to do are take care of your children, and then you have to take care of the house, then also you have to take care of your uh, in-laws, and then your parents are getting older at the same time. The same happens with the men. So what do you think on that? Like is there, I won't say like balance kind of thing, but for you, what do you think? Like, where does this laughter go for both of them?
Okay. Firstly, I know, as you mentioned, right, we women wear different hats,
Yeah.
right, at different time. Men also do, right? It's just that, if you look at the traditional system,
Yeah.
right, a man cannot cry.
Oh,
A
yeah.
man should not cry.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay? Man or men, let's not put man, let's put it men.
Men.
They need to have that, they need to sit upright.
Yeah.
Okay? They cannot be comfortable,
True.
right? They have to have that certain image.
Mm.
Why? Because it's been traditionally. It's
Yeah.
like it's been going years and
Building up
years
the
and years
house.
and
Yeah.
years. But men also have a lot of emotions. It's just that they don't express it, right? They'll express it only to their very,
Very
close, or
close.
probably their wife or someone who's very close, right? But doesn't mean that they don't need laughter in their life.
Yeah.
They do. They do need. They do need. In fact, I always encourage couples
Yeah.
to come together
Mm.
because that can do wonders.
Yeah.
Like I had one session wherein I had invited couples, and Deepa, oh my God! I mean, the wife, like one of the couple, the wife she was angry with the husband for a while now. Okay, and she was not able to express it.
Yeah.
Because he used to come from work.
Yeah.
She used to see him stressed.
Yeah.
So obviously women tend to not express it because they feel that okay, अभी इसके पास already stress है.
Stress है, yeah.
अब मैं अपनी stress अपने कुछ information share करूँगी तो शायद
Right.
he will be
Yeah.
upset,
Yeah.
right? But that day after the session, okay, she spoke. she spoke.
Yeah.
Okay, and he also took it in a very different way.
Okay.
Unlike
Yeah.
in a situation where men will be like, कि क्या है यार? कितने बार मैं सुनूं?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
tend to take each other for granted.
Yes.
Let's be fair.
Yeah.
Each other for granted.
True.
But that session was such a did a wonder to them.
Yeah.
Like both of them, they came and hugged me.
Oh,
They're
wow.
like, you know what? We were having these disturbance between each other.
Yeah.
But the session made us feel united.
That's great.
Got that harmony.
Yeah.
Okay, got that spark.
Yeah.
Okay. And now they are like, they're after me. They're like, when are we doing the next session? When are we? We have other 10 couples.
Yeah.
Okay, who want to come and be part of it.
Yeah.
So it's fun, yeah. It's
Yeah.
joyful.
Right.
Okay. Because it just keeps you away from all your thoughts.
Yeah.
And it gives you instant reaction, okay, to the action what you do.
Right.
Okay. You come with a certain set of mind, okay, where you are unhappy, you've walked in, okay, or you have come with a certain thought, or you've woken up from a different side of the bed.
Yeah.
Whatever the XYZ reasons. And here you are laughing. That instant laughter shifts your entire mood, shifts your entire energy.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then when you walk out, oh, I walked in with a certain thing. No, I'm not this who I am.
Yeah.
So you've seen that shift.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing it on a daily basis. And I love it. Children, you'll be surprised. When I do sessions, first and foremost, they're innocent.
Yeah.
Right? They're innocent. They don't know what is laughter yoga. All they know is, okay, this ma'am is making me laugh. Okay? Laugh. In school, the teachers have seen a progress. Okay, so that's why I encourage, laugh more. Laugh more. When you laugh more, you see whatever responsibilities or whatever thought comes on your mind, might be good, negative, you're instantly charged.
So, Pranali, it was so fun and so much informative that, what laughter can make, like make a difference in our life. So, this is the last question, although I don't want you to go. But, so what is like, advice I'll say to all those people who are laughing less or not laughing at all?
First, I would say laugh more.
Yeah.
Advice is, see, I think it's important to laugh. Okay. I know it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy. I mean, because I'm an expert doesn't mean that I laugh throughout the day. I have challenges.
Yeah.
Okay. Because when I'm delivering sessions, here I have to deliver sessions.
Yeah.
But apart from the sessions, I'm a normal human being.
True.
And when you're a normal human being, you have emotions, right? You have moods, right? You have responsibilities. Now, if you have to incorporate laughter into your daily routine, it's a challenge,
Yeah.
right? But however, if you take that little efforts, it's like this. When you're a kid, I'll give you an example. When you're a kid, you're starting to learn to write. What are you doing? You're practicing daily. And when you see, with practice, now you're able to write words. Words become sentences, and then it becomes a flow. So similarly, laughter, let's start with, say, 15 seconds. Just laugh.
Yeah.
Okay? Make that as a 15-second every day for a week.
Yeah.
And then make it a 1 week.
Yeah.
And then get your spouse or your house people to sit together and laugh. That's where you cultivate habits.
Yeah. And last last request, I'll say, not the question, but can we have Pranali's laugh? Like just for the podcast. Not the silent one. I want the real one.
Okay, silent one. Yeah, I'm so used to it silent now.
Yeah. I know you are happy.
Okay, guys. So when I come into the laughter, this is how we laugh.
Yeah. Okay. That's so good. And here we are. Thank you so much, Pranali. And it was super fun with you, like talking to you, knowing so much about laughter. And I just want to request to all those people that, laugh more, watch more. My show, for sure. And whatever it is, like however the life, like as Sadhguru says, we are blessed that we are breathing creatures. Like, we are just breathing, and that is the superpower what we have. We don't have to, serve all the purpose or just think that we are born with, we are the only superhero, we have to solve everything. No. If you are breathing and if you're alive, you are blessed. We all are blessed. Like, it's just like, if you smile more, laugh more, you can live more, and you will know whatever is happening around you, within you, and you will start loving yourself. So do that. And if you want to catch Pranali, where can we catch you?
We can catch me on Instagram.
Yeah, we can catch her on Instagram, and
And-
follow me on
yeah.
Instagram and YouTube, and like and subscribe. And I just want to say thank you again, because it's quite a journey, but I'm not going anywhere, and just support me. Thank you.
No, thank you, Deepa. It's such a wonderful. I mean, I'm glad and happy that I'm able to share
Yeah.
with the audience. And, down the line, I'm hoping that you all will start incorporating laughter in your life. So, yes,
Sure, they
definitely.
will.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.